Welcome back, guys. Today we've got another Napoleonic battle. This one is the Battle of Ligny. Now this is a battle that we've been wanting to recreate for quite a long time, and we're doing it in 6mm, so get ready. If you haven't already, do please like and subscribe. Also go and check us out on Facebook, so you can always be kept updated on when new videos are coming out, and you can also share what you're working on. So, in 1815, Napoleon has returned. If you watched our campaign of the 1814 campaign in France, you'll know that Napoleon abdicated after being defeated and was exiled. In 1815, he's returned, and now he's striking north with his army to try and split the forces of the British and the Prussians. He knows that they outnumber him if they can unite, so if he can split them in two and take them out piecemeal, one at a time, then he's got that chance to potentially bring the Allies to the negotiating table. Whereas if he's unable to beat the British and the Prussians, then very quickly the Russians and the Austrians will be coming. So the first major engagement of his campaign is against the Prussians under General Blucher at the Battle of Ligny. So it's quite an interesting battle. A lot of troops. Historically, French victory, although it was not decisive. So we've laid it all out as close as we can. We've got the towns or the villages laid out, or at least the majority of them. So today we are free fighting the Battle of Ligny using the rules Beggars and Scoundrels. So we've created the orders of battle for the French and the Prussians. We have got D'Erlon, who may appear on turn 6 depending on his dice roll. From turn 4. And each of the bases represents a brigade. So we've got Napoleon and the Guard. Then we've got Gerard and his corps, and Van Dam and his corps. And then we've got, I think it's Perch.
Yes.
I should say Zieten, Perch and Thielmann's corps. So they are taking up the defensive positions, holding the villages and the towns, and the stream. The battlefield historically was quite boggy, especially around the stream edges, so that's going to slow the French up as they're advancing. And so the Prussians, they're just sort of trying to have that defensive fight. They are slightly outnumbered, at least at the start. So here come the French in all their might, because the French, they won the initiative.
Cool. So at the end of turn 1, we've seen a general French advance along most of the line. They're getting close to attacking the towns. The Prussians again move their reserve forwards, and there's been some small arms fire along the perimeter of the village as the French approach the river. The French have advanced all their artillery, which was surprising, so they didn't get to do any long-range shooting this turn.
So in this game I was playing as the Prussians defending, and so it was going to be a bit of a struggle to try and not necessarily repeat history. Hopefully we could get a victory out of it. But the French were coming on in the same old style, so we tried to meet them in the same old style. But yeah, it was quite a tricky one, because he decided to throw all of his weight more or less against those central villages. In the south, I was trying to... South? I guess that would actually be the west, actually, where that river crossing is. I was trying to keep his cavalry from crossing whilst my reserve cavalry forces were able to move down. But in the centre, again, the French were starting to approach with all of their troops, and they had massed their... or they were bringing all their artillery up to mass them. So we had a few turns leeway before the pain would start. So unluckily for the French, in the centre, their troops that tried to force their way across the streams into the town were repulsed, and there was a bit of a chain reaction with 2 of their brigades breaking and withdrawing. So that was good news for the Prussians. It just gave us a little bit of breathing room in the middle.
Infantry in the middle.
Oh.
And then roll for the other one. So we say they've broken. Oh, that was close. But now they've broken also. At the end of turn 4, we've got the French Van Damme third corps swinging round onto the left wing. In the centre, Gerard's corps is floundering, and the Guard are coming up. However, we are about to roll to see if D'Erlon arrives. So, back in a second. Cool. So we need a 6 on the dice roll.
And we don't get a 6.
Nope.
We get a 2.
He does not arrive.
Over the next turn, it was much more of the same. The French kept their advance, they were moving towards those positions, and the Prussians were just doing a bit of return fire. Nothing major happened. Until in the distance we could see dust rising. But was it British, or was it Prussian, or was it French reinforcements on the way?
If you roll 1d6 to see if D'Erlon arrives, needing a 6.
Yes!
Yay! Okay, so D'Erlon will arrive. This turn, which was turn 5, we had mass cavalry action at the bridge crossing. The cuirassiers were charged, held against the lancers, but finally broke against the dragoons and were destroyed because they couldn't escape. And then the chasseurs countercharged and broke the dragoons. Over on this side, the French have carried on moving. And in the centre, the French are slowly but surely rallying and reorganising. And the Prussians are just moving their troops into better positions to support each other.
So with D'Erlon's troops now arriving, the race to cross the river is recommencing, with all of the French forces in the western theatre really running just to try and pin the Prussians as much as they possibly can and bring as many guns to bear as possible. And if D'Erlon's corps can get across, then they can get right behind the Prussians and it'll be more or less game, set and match.
During the shooting phase, an unlucky cannonball, for the French that is, came in targeting this infantry and killed General Gerard. In the melee down here, the French chasseurs charged the Prussian lancers, and in the fight, although inflicting heavy casualties on the Prussians, they were overwhelmed, as it was 2-1, and they were annihilated and ridden down by the lancers. Overall, this turn, the French have started to move into quite a strong attack position along their whole line, and with D'Erlon's troops arriving to reinforce them, that could be the point which really turns the battle. Okay, so for turn 8, we saw the French managing to get a bridgehead on this side of the river and holding quite strongly, whilst in the centre the Guard have advanced. Prussians had to take several morale checks this turn, but managed to pass them luckily.
Thank you.
At the end of turn 10, we've seen Prussian cavalry cross the stream and they're facing off against the French. The Old Guard in the centre have managed to cross the stream and take a foothold. And at the far extreme, D'Erlon's troops did cross the stream, but 2 of Van Damme's brigades have just broken and routed back into them, setting them up possibly for a cavalry charge by the Prussian lancers.
Yeah.
I was giving you some warning.
And they're going over. So are they, about there. They'll be on the bridge. They'll move there.
Okay, turn 11 saw the cavalry battle push back the Prussians. In the centre, the Old Guard have made their way through the town and are now spreading out. And the Prussians are just starting to, for exhaustion, get pushed back pretty well along the line.
So with the French Guard pushing their way across the streams and into the villages, the Prussian line has now more or less been split in 2, which is pretty devastating for them. And we don't know if they're going to have a chance to recover, unfortunately.
So as we end turn 12, we see almost a complete historical show of events. The French with the Old Guard have smashed through in the centre and are rolling up the Prussian lines. The Prussian infantry in the centre have just all fallen apart. We've got a couple of brigades still holding this village, and we've got a brigade of infantry and cavalry on this side, but apart from that, the whole position has fallen apart. So the French have got a pretty strong victory this day.
So the result is, unfortunately for the Prussians, a French victory. History really did repeat itself. But it was a great game, we really enjoyed it. If you'd like to get your hands on Beggars and Scoundrels, the rules that we used in this game, or any of the other rule sets that I've created, please join us at the Coffee channel. The link will be in the description, and you can pick up any of those, or just leave a donation to support the channel. But once again, thanks for joining us today. I hope that you enjoyed the game, and I'll see you next time.